From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
Today is day 4 of the Amber Guyger trial. She's the police officer accused of shooting and killing a man in his own apartment. This is police body camera video from that night. Thanks for joining us. I'm Oscar Suarez.
And I am Azmar Khan. During testimony today, Texas Ranger discussed what weapons Guyger had on her belt. He said police officers normally use their handguns first until they think it is safe enough to go less lethal. Like using a taser, yesterday the lead investigator in the case said he does believe Guyger.
Do you have an opinion as to whether it was reasonable for Amber Guyger to have believed she was in her apartment when she encountered the complaining witness?
Yes, I do.
And what is that opinion?
That she believed that there was a burglar in her apartment.
On September 6, 2018, Guyger said she entered Dallas resident Botham Jean's apartment, mistaking it for her own. The defense claims Guyger believed Jean was an intruder, and that is why she shot him. Officers arrested Guyger on September 9th of last year for Jean's murder. On September 24th, the same day as Jean's funeral, the Dallas Police Department fired Guyger.
Dallas police say a man has confessed to an attack on a transgender woman that took place last week. Authorities say 29-year-old Domingo Ramirez Cavente admitted following the woman to a bus stop and shooting her multiple times last Friday. Dallas police have been investigating the incident as a hate crime. Ramirez Cavente was arrested Tuesday after detectives located a vehicle that matched description given by the victim. He has now been charged with aggravated assault. The victim has undergone surgery since the attack, but no information is available about her condition.
The judge overseeing the El Paso mass shooting case wants the case reassigned for transfer to a different judge. That's according to a statement released by the El Paso District Court. Judge Angie Juarez Beryl gave 2 reasons for her request. First, she knew one of the victims killed in the rampage and that person's family. She also cited the fact that she is running for Chief Justice for the 8th Court of Appeals. Her current term ends in December 2020, and her concern is the case may continue beyond that date. The suspect in the case is charged with capital murder and could face the death penalty. He is accused of shooting and killing 22 people in an El Paso Walmart this past August.
12 U.S. deaths have now been linked to vaping, the latest in Mississippi. Other deaths were previously reported in California, Kansas, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Missouri, Oregon, Florida, and Georgia. There are now 805 cases of lung disease associated with the use of e-cigarettes or vaping products in 46 states in the U.S. Virgin Islands, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Health professionals urge teens and adults to stop using e-cigarettes. While there's a connection with vaping and lung disease, a local vape shop says information may be misleading the public against all vaping products. Vape shop in Denton says the products normally sold there are FDA approved and it only sells food-grade products. The ban on all vaping products worries him because he says this allows for purchases from unsafe products on the streets.
Now, instead of getting FDA regulated, safe, approved products, now they're buying, bootleg vape juice from, the guy on the corner. And that's how we got into this predicament in the first place with the THC pens, is people buying stuff they don't know about from people they don't know about that's not regulated. And it would just magnify the problems and the sicknesses.
Vape shops across Denton now wait to hear if the recent deaths will lead to new FDA rules and regulations.
The Denton Police Department has a new approach to deal with the problems of sexual assault at bars in Denton. I talked to the University of North Texas Police to find out more about this.
A simple word like Angela can now help someone escape an uncomfortable situation. Earlier this month, the Denton Police Department partnered with colleges in Denton to introduce the Ask for Angela program. A simple code word campaign that started in Europe back in 2016 is now making rounds in the Denton area. With the Ask for Angela program, if someone feels uncomfortable on a date, they can approach the bartender by asking for Angela. Rebecca Bowles is a regular bar visitor and says she has used some alternatives in the past to escape uncomfortable situations.
The old bathroom trick, just being like, hey, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then you kind of wait in there a minute and then kind of slip out.
The bartenders are trained to pull the person to the side and arrange a ride for them or call the cops. UNT police officer Kevin Crawford said over 11 cases of sexual assaults have been reported on campus according to the most recent Clary report of 2017, and is hopeful this new program will bring that number down.
It's not about just preventing sexual assault. It could be somebody just wants to feel safer walking to their car, or you always have to introduce the stalking element. Things like this could essentially help protect from multiple offenses.
Andy Jaramillo is a bartender at Lucky Lou's for more than 2 years, and he was full of praise for this initiative.
The fact that we can realize it immediately by this code word, in a sense, we can take care of the situation. We can escort the person out and then walk the person that's not comfortable to their car or to their Uber or to whatever, which we'll take care of them.
Bowles says she is very pleased with the new approach to stopping sexual assault.
I honestly think it's really awesome because I know there's so many situations where girls are like, I don't know what to do, like I don't know how to like go about something without like it being weird, or like sometimes guys have a tendency to like act a certain way and like you just want to take it and do it smoothly, and like I feel like this is probably like the best way to like go about something and not make it a big issue.
The police is hopeful that this 3-word phrase will be a success in the college town.
On Tuesday, county officials implemented a burn ban due to drought concerns. Welding, cutting, and hot work are now regulated. For disposal of vegetation, residents are only allowed to burn on good burn days. A good burn day will be determined between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. each day. The fire marshal's office should be contacted for more information. You can also visit dentoncounty.gov for any other questions. Students at the TWU are still hopeful about on-campus living even after the major flooding that happened in their new housing complex, the Parliament Village. Heavy rain on the first week of class left students in all 3 living buildings with a flooded first floor. Students and faculty did what they could by stopping the excess water from coming in with towels lined up around the first floor entries at each building.
And so then like it was kind of like a burden, you know, like because it was like it's not like the prettiest thing in the world, you know, but obviously it happens with like rain and stuff, like a bunch of rain. It was like brand new and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Obviously they're gonna make changes, like if there is like another catastrophe, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make like other like ways to like prevent that or to like slow it down, you know. So
the buildings are dry and working properly now, with students not worried about future flooding.
NCTC will have its grand opening ceremony for its new downtown Denton campus tomorrow. From 10 a.m. to noon, future students will be able to see the campus for the first time. Expect free food, tours, music, and giveaways during the event. There will also be free parking in their new garage on Mulberry Street. The FSB Exchange becomes their 6th campus that serves Denton County.
The University of North Texas just received a grant that will help it better serve those with autism. NT Daily Sierra Galvez is live on campus to tell us what the money will do.
The staff here at the Speech and Hearing Center is very excited to have $111,000 to put in place a new clinic that will help further test and assist people with autism. The UNT Speech and Hearing Center has helped people with autism for years, but a new grant gives employees the opportunity to further develop the clinic and add more testing.
We received this grant because this company is interested in helping children with autism spectrum disorder and other listening difficulties. And so we approached the manufacturer to see whether or not they'd be interested in helping us develop this clinic.
The UNT clinic was one of 3 worldwide to get this grant.
We are actually one of the only clinics that is doing the intervention piece also. Of the 3 in our study, actually, we're the only one that's providing the intervention piece.
The clinic offers 3 different types of interventions after the assessment: a one-on-one speech and noise training, computerized listening training, and the new remote microphone technology.
So the hearing technology that we're fitting on the kids is the Phonak Roger Focus, and this is one of the transmitters that they have from Phonak. It's called the Roger Pin, and so the microphone is built in here, and the talker, which could be a teacher or a parent or even a sibling, and you can clip this on your clothing like this and talk directly into the transmitter, which then wirelessly transmits to a small receiver that's designed specifically for kids with normal hearing, but processing problems or listening problems. And it's worn on the ear, and it just goes right behind the ear like this. And it's worn comfortably for the child with the processing problem.
The clinic is currently taking in new patients and is open to the Denton community. Live in Denton, I'm Sierra Galvez, NT Daily News.
Coming up, Trump looks to a familiar face to assist with the impeachment fight.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
The House Intel Committee has released the declassified whistleblower complaint against President Trump and his call with Ukraine. At the same time, the committee is grilling Intel chief about the actions he did or did not take with the complaint. Karina Kaffa is on Capitol Hill with the latest developments.
For the second day in a row, Congress is combing over a transcript that is paramount to an impeachment inquiry. The official whistleblower complaint about President Trump's conversation with the president of Ukraine was declassified and released Thursday. In the official complaint, the whistleblower says, "In the course of my official duties, I have received information from multiple U.S. government officials that the President of the United States is using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election." The whistleblower also alleges that Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was key to an alleged quid pro quo with Ukraine. Both presidents have denied the allegations.
We spoke about many things, and I think, and you read it, that nobody pushed me. Yes.
In other words, no pressure.
Now, the acting director of national intelligence, Joseph Maguire, faces lawmakers' questions about why he initially refused to share that complaint with Congress, despite it being required by law.
As you know, Director Maguire, more so than perhaps any other area of government since we deal with classified information, the Intelligence Committee is dependent on whistleblowers to reveal wrongdoing.
President Trump calling all of it another witch hunt.
When they look at the information, it's a joke. Impeachment for that?
On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kaffa.
The investigation into the impeachment proceedings are ongoing. The White House may enlist the help of an old ally. Corey Lewandowski is in talks to take on a possible administration position aimed at helping the president navigate his impeachment fight. Lewandowski was President Trump's campaign manager in 2016 and is widely credited for helping him win the elections. If the White House hires him, Lewandowski would reportedly assemble a team similar to the one Bill Clinton's administrations put together during his impeachment. Today, the Senate passed a temporary funding bill to avoid another government shutdown. The vote was 82-15. The measure extends current funding until November 21st. It passed the House earlier this month. The bill now heads to the White House for President Trump's signature. A fight over funding for President's border wall triggered a partial government shutdown last year that went on to become the longest shutdown in U.S. government history.
Flu season is coming. Influenza activity typically starts to increase in October and peaks between December and February. That's when we start seeing more and more people sneezing, coughing, and becoming bedridden as they battle the flu. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says about 8% of Americans get the flu each year. Thousands die from it and others related illness. The best protection is to get your flu shot and keep your hands clean and away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. A new study shows a link between air pollution and psychiatric disorders in children. Researchers found when a pollutant known as PM2.5 was presented, more children visited psychiatric emergency rooms. Adjustment disorders, suicidal thoughts, depression, and anxiety were more common 1 or 2 days later. The 5-year study also says children in disadvantaged areas were more susceptible to the effects. PM 2.5 can either be naturally occurring from things like dust and ash or man-made from burning fossil fuels. This is the first time children have been studied. The study was published in the Environmental Health Perspectives Journal.
Next on NT Daily, find out how the Denton Library is changing their late fee policy.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C² = 25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same. You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The Denton Public Library is waiving all overdue fines for late returns. Starting October 1st, the new policy gets rid of all late fees. The library hopes removing charges will encourage people to come back to the library and open checkout access to books, movies, music, and more. Existing overdue fines on library accounts will also be removed, so readers can start fresh.
There's still consequences if you don't turn an item in on time. So your account is suspended. That means you cannot check out materials. Items that you have out won't be automatically renewed. You can't place holds. You can't get access to our online resources.
While they are getting rid of late fees, an item not returned in 21 days will still result in the cost of the item being billed to your account. But that charge can be removed if the item is returned.
Today marks the 50th anniversary of the release of the Beatles' Abbey Road album. Rick DeMiguela has a preview of an extensive new edition of the album in our Music Mondays segment.
Come together right now over me.
The Beatles' Abbey Road debuted September 26, 1969. In celebration of its 50th anniversary, Giles Martin, son of Beatles producer George Martin, has put together a new mix of the album.
Recordings are just that. They're a timestamp. And all we're doing here is we're opening the door to that time and then trying to make it as fresh as possible.
He previously crafted new mixes for the anniversary editions of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and the White Album.
Because on one hand, you have the don't mess with the legacy. On the other hand, you have the Beatles and the Beatles' attitude, which is you've got to push the boundaries as much as you can. I mean, you know, Paul and Ringo, and indeed Yoko and Olivia, they don't employ me to be safe. They don't want that.
I'd like to be under the sea.
The album is available in traditional formats, but the holy grail for Beatles fans is the Super Deluxe Edition, featuring 3 CDs, a Blu-ray version presented in Dolby Atmos, 23 session recordings and demos, many of which are previously unreleased, and a 100-page hardbound book with unpublished photos among its many features.
It sounds more modern. I think it's it's also quite a good gateway into the Beatles for a younger generation.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
In addition to the Super Deluxe version, the 50th anniversary editions of the Beatles' Abbey Road includes single and double CD versions, vinyl, and of course, digital downloads, and will be available tomorrow.
Someone in the Lone Star State will likely be entering a new tax bracket. A jackpot-winning Mega Millions ticket was sold at the Lakeline Express Mart in Cedar Park, Texas. The lucky numbers chosen were 6, 14, 24, 42, and 46, and the Mega Ball was 9. The customer who correctly picked those numbers took the cash value option. That means the winner will walk home with more than $157 million. Not bad for a $2 ticket. Lottery officials say that this is the largest prize payout ever in Texas to a single player. The winner has 180 days from the draw date to collect the cash. The place that sold the winning ticket also gets a nice payday, $1 million.
It's fall in Texas, which can only mean one thing. Stay tuned to find out what it is.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Teams battling for victory on the gridiron put rivalries aside and came together for an amazing and heartwarming moment. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch a student athlete with cerebral palsy score an unforgettable touchdown in Missouri. Smith Cotton High School senior PJ Allred was selected as team captain for the game. He was put in on the final play and ran 80 yards to score. The coach of the opposing team, which won the game, said the moment outweighed the...
To see the entire sideline run and sprint, even our cheerleaders, the actual win was meaningless at that point. The fact that PJ got that moment and that everyone could celebrate, that was the most important thing.
The team's coach says Allred participates in multiple sports, and even though his body has limitations, his heart and attitude set a gold standard.
Denton has a new brewery on tap. The Howling Mud Brewing Company is now in production. The brewery opens to the public today and will have grand opening celebrations through Saturday. Founded by best friends and home brewers Alex Manning and Justin Reed, the Howling Mud Brewery Tap Room is located at 205 Cedar Street.
Howdy folks, the State Fair of Texas opens tomorrow. The gates swing open at 10 a.m. for the 2019 State Fair of Texas. Don't miss all the fun opening day, activities including the opening ceremony and ribbon cutting. Tickets as well as food and ride coupons are on sale now at bigtex.com.
Pancake fans can eat up in celebration today. September 26th is a National Pancake Day. According to the National Day calendar, this breakfast item dates back more than 30,000 years. They say this may be the oldest breakfast food in history, also known as Johnny cakes, griddle cakes, or hot cakes, but they're all pretty much made the same way. Fry up some batter in little circles, add butter, pour in the syrup, and enjoy.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for NT Daily News.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.